The following marketing information and discussion is provided for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as professional guidance or consultancy. You should find an agency for that. Comexis is a digital marketing agency, so feel free to hire us. But otherwise, just enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, welcome to The Buyer's Journey by Comexis, a discussion-based podcast on the ever-changing marketing landscape. I'm Matthew McGrody, the social media content producer here at Comexis.
And I'm Josh Lyons, the digital marketing coordinator here at Comexis.
So today is Tuesday, but because of the holiday, we've been a little pushed back on the podcast. So today and all this week, we're only going to be doing 4 episodes of the show instead of the normal 5. So normally on Tuesdays and on Mondays, Mondays we talk about awareness, Tuesdays we normally talk about consideration. The consideration stage of the buyer's journey is when somebody is already aware of a problem or of your product or service, and they're now doing additional research either to solve their problem or researching your product or service in hopes that they will eventually go with you and solve whatever problem is that they're having. So all this week we're going to be going through the stages of the buyer's journey like we normally do, but they might not exactly align. As I mentioned last week, we had a couple short shows last week. Again, this week we're going to be a little all over the place in the sense of, like, today we're talking about consideration, but tomorrow we are not going to be talking about purchase. We're going to be talking about something else. So just to give you guys a heads up, we are not going to be following the typical through-line structure, but that is A-okay because we're still going to bring you that beautiful podcast goodness. And then again, this week it'll only be me and Josh. Len is busy, so we'll be commandeering this podcast.
He'll be back next week, though.
He will be back next week, however, so look forward to that. So today we're talking about Google rolling out a mobile search redesign, and they're going to be adding a black ad label to ads, and they're going to be adding favicons for organic search results. So if you go on your phone and you Google something and you get an ad, what previously happened before this redesign was you would get your little listing in kind of a soft cube-ish kind of thing, and it would have the title of the site, and then it would just say ad kind of in like the bottom left corner of that, and then it would have like the URL right next to it, and then information, metadata and stuff on whatever that website was that you were about to click. Now, however, they're going to be changing it so that the ad portion appears black instead of like a green, and it's going to be at the top left. So you'll see ad, and then right next to it the URL, and then directly below that will be the title tag and all of the metadata that you expect to see in that regard. Josh, I see you attempting to do a Google search, and I would love to remind you that this is a mobile search.
No, I know.
Okay.
I just wanted to see the difference between, like,
desktop and mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little different. Obviously, it's not majorly different or anything like that. But this is a sort of an update. In 2017, they introduced the green ad marker, and I'll be honest, especially on desktop, I think most people just kind of ignored it.
Yeah.
I think obviously this will make it a little bit bigger. In addition, they're adding favicons or favicons, however you want to pronounce it, to organic search results. So if you go, say you're on desktop and you load up Comexis or you load up the National Park Service, so that's just the example we have here. The National Park Service's little favicon would be in which is a little image that appears on the tab right next to the name of the website.
It's basically like if you set bookmarks on your desktop, the little icon that pops up,
yes,
but then that comes on the search.
So now, however, when you search for them, they will appear just in the same location that the ad label appears, and then the URL information, again, will be right next to it, which is a change because previously they didn't have favicons, and then also the URL information would normally appear
at the bottom.
The title tag would appear above the URL. Now it's favicon URL, title underneath, and then the relevant metadata. So a very small, subtle change. However, I'm interested in how important this will be in terms of making people more aware of, one, websites in general, but two, more aware that something might be an ad for whatever reason that you would want to be aware of that, which I think there are multiple. What do you think about this, Josh?
Well, like you said, I think it's very subtle, but at least for me, even though I haven't seen it yet rolled out on my phone, just by the picture of the example, you can actually tell that it will make, I think, at least for my searching ability, it will make a big difference.
It's got a nice little pop to it.
Right. And like you said, in the beginning when we were talking about it, when you would make that search and you would see what it used to be, you sort of always scroll over it because you don't like seeing the ad. You can tell that it's definitely the ad.
Yeah, I know not to jump in, but just on desktop, I know, there will be times where I'll search for things and I'm aware, like, how to identify an ad. But if I'm quickly looking for something, you might not always notice. And for the most part, it's not intentionally harmful to click on an ad, but you could be somebody who, like, you don't want to click on the ad because then you're going to get remarketed for, 90 days,
Exactly.
and maybe you're not actually interested in that service.
Exactly. But yeah, so I think the layout is actually a lot cleaner, and also that you can see, the first thing you see for that website is you see at the top left that it is an ad. While on the previous format, you could still tell it was the ad. It had the ad, the box, it was in green, but it was under the title tag. So
easy to skim over.
It's easy to see, it's easy to understand. And then I thought the favicon, the
favicon,
whatever we decided it was called.
However you guys want to print. If you want to say fave icon,
I guess favicon would make the most sense.
I like favicon.
Yeah, I would do too. But anyway, I think that's actually really important for not only for the ads, like to differentiate the ads from just the regular search things, the regular, to tell the difference between the ads and
an organic
search. Yeah. But also it's nice for like a casual searcher that might know the website they're looking for, or they might know the type of websites and the different competitors that are doing that type of product or service you're looking for. And you can tell right when you search it, most people can tell logos by the company. Yeah. It's pretty obvious, some different than not, but there's a lot of very well-known organizations that it's easy to understand the logos. So sometimes people run through the problems when they're searching for things, they get worried that they're going to get directed to other sites that they don't want to be at, or that's a fake site, or it's just not something to their liking. And now the icons basically just give you sort of a backup, or I guess
an additional little badge of authenticity.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking for.
I think they have a nice little pop too. I mean, again, this isn't like a massive change, but when we're talking about your website compared to a competitor's website, maybe that favicon is the difference between your site popping a little bit more, getting more noticed, getting more likely to be clicked through than your competitor. The same thing when we talked about previously, probably about a month or so ago, with the image
on the products,
image products appearing as thumbnails on mobile search. So same sort of thing. If you are trying to make sure that you have a favicon for your website, Jenny Marvin on Search Engine Land has a nice little how-to, or what you need to know to be able to do that. It's nothing super complicated. The one thing I will say is that your favicon has to be a multiple of a 48 pixel square, but otherwise that is basically okay. However, Jenny Marvin does point out that Google says that your favicon isn't guaranteed to show even if it is set up correctly. So I don't know what influences Google showing those or not. But at the end of the day, it's probably better to have it set in case it does appear or however it is that they decide you will be able to have your Favicon show. So just one more thing to keep mention of, and I'll put a link to that in the blog description. You can read Ginny's piece. It's fantastic. And finally, we have a little quote. Google told Search Engine Land that, quote, "As we continue to make new content formats and useful actions available, from buying movie tickets to playing podcasts, this new design allows us to add more action buttons and helpful previews to search results cards, all while giving you a better sense of the web page's content with clear attribution back to the source." And I completely agree. I think this is a nice, subtle, but somewhat significant change in the search results page. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do from there.
And while you were trying to crack a joke about me searching on the desktop, even just realizing, so I typed in the same thing. I typed in basically just the hiking at Yosemite, and I realized that even though it's just so normal for us to do these searches on Google and just sort of scrolling, it would be interesting to see how much of a difference and more appealing it would look, which I think it would, if you have the little icons next to the title tag. So, yeah, it's...
we shall see.
Yeah.
We shall see. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in to today's episode of The Buyer's Journey. Check us out on Comexis.com, YouTube, and anywhere you can get your podcasts. And please follow us on Twitter at @buyers_journey. Thanks for listening.